I'm State Representative Mark Gillen reporting from the Farm Show in Pennsylvania in the Harrisburg area. And I have with me today Secretary of Agriculture of Pennsylvania, Greig. I'm so pleased that you took a few minutes with me. I know your schedule's very busy. Give us a little bit of backdrop of what's happening in here and how long it's been going on, Secretary.
All right. First, welcome you to the 97th Pennsylvania Farm Show. They started having farm shows in 1917. And each year, the farm show is a little bit different, and this year is including. A lot of people come here. It's a tradition for them, and farmers come to visit with old friends and compete with other farmers for the top honors in Pennsylvania. So we have 6,000 head of livestock here. We have 10,000 competitive exhibits, and we have 300 commercial exhibits here at the Pennsylvania Farm Show. You can get any kind of food you wanted here in Pennsylvania, and you can see a showcase of all of Pennsylvania agriculture.
Wonderful. Let's personalize this a little bit. You say it's a tradition. You come from a farming family. Can you share some personal inside information, if you will, about your history and background with the Farm Show prior to becoming the Secretary of Agriculture?
Okay. I come from a dairy farm, 650-acre farm in western Crawford County, 4 miles from the Ohio border, so I'm just inside of Pennsylvania. But when I was growing up, when I was in school, I won at the Crawford County Fair, and the winners from the fair go to district, and the district winners come to the farm show. So this is competition for the best of Pennsylvania. So I was in that. I still own a farm in Crawford County in partnership with my brother. My wife and I live there when I'm not doing the Secretary of Agriculture job. But for right now, I have a place in Harrisburg that I stay because we don't make it home too much.
So it's fair to say this is in your bloodstream. This isn't a job. This is your lifestyle, agriculture.
That's right, and it's all about service. I've got a chance to do some good for agriculture, for the farmers, and for the citizens of Pennsylvania. We, at the Department of Agriculture, our main core mission is consumer protection and food safety. And so when I get the chance to make sure that our food is safe, make sure that our farmers receive a good price for their products, and make sure that the consumers get a dollar's worth of goods when they pay for it, I feel like that I have done well. So.
Food safety, it's an economic engine that drives the economy here in Pennsylvania, and it's about families. As you walk around here, you see so many men and women with their children. You see the rich tradition. You talk to people at the booths, and you find out that they've been coming to this thing for 20, 30 years. How about your children? Have they followed you in agriculture, and would we find them at the show?
My daughter was here. I have 6 children, but most of them are grown, and they're not involved in agriculture. But my youngest daughter, Rachel, is in FFA, and she was we had the midwinter convention here on Monday, I believe it was, and so she's been down here. She went home yesterday, but it's a great event. So many things going on here at Farm Show. We had the midwinter convention for FFA. There was 4,000 students in FFA, and we awarded over 300 of them with a Keystone degree, which is the highest degree that they can get in Pennsylvania. We also had 4 new chapters, and we had it had to be 50 FFA students get their jackets for the first time. So I think the future of agriculture looks bright in Pennsylvania.
Maybe I should be asking my colleagues this question, but I'll raise it with you. There's 24 acres under roof here. It's the largest agricultural exposition under roof in the United States. I don't know where we stand in world rankings, but at what point do we need to expand what we're doing here, substantively improve? When we're increasing the attendance by double digits, there has to reach a point that we're pressing against the seams. When does that occur? Has it already occurred?
I have no idea how we're going to better this. This is a team effort. I can't take the credit for all this. I have a huge staff that works night and day. They're here till 9 o'clock at night, alongside of me. And we just have to see what our options are. But I welcome that idea. That's great.
It's going to require some appropriation, so I'll have to discuss it with my colleagues. It's certainly a must-stop, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many people who travel outside of this area and even come from other countries. Have you had intersections with folks from Canada, Mexico, or Europe during the course of your tenure as Agriculture Secretary at this farm show?
Yes, I have. Just the day before yesterday, the governor was meeting with some Canadian consulates, and he told that they're involved in agriculture. He told them they have to stop at the farm show. They came while I was while I was handing out the ribbons for the Supreme Beef Champion. They got their pictures taken with me in the small arena, and they were just tickled because they could not believe the amount of agriculture that's here in one state. So we compare to. I've had people tell me Australia, the Australian Minister for Agriculture and Food Security, told me that we probably have more agriculture in Pennsylvania than they do in Australia, which is, I haven't seen any of the figures, but that's a whole continent. So he said a lot of it's the outback and not decent land, but
it sounds like it comes as a bit of a surprise to people from faraway places as they're visiting when you think about Pennsylvania perhaps as an Australian or a European. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, urbanized area, suburban sprawl. Is your sense they're missing a bigger picture of agriculture in Pennsylvania?
Well, I think that our American farmer has to be patted on the back for their productivity. It's not just those countries that I talked about. There's a lot of other countries that have met with me, wanted me to travel to their country to tell them, what they can do to improve their productivity. But it's just a way of life in America and in Pennsylvania. So I think that, we take for granted what we have here. In some other countries, they don't have what we do.
When you message to these other individuals, I imagine there's a certain marketing component. Pennsylvania hardwoods, Pennsylvania products, Pennsylvania mushrooms, whatever it happens to be. How are we doing on the marketing side to expand agriculture, exporting to other places, other countries, as well as other states?
We have been doing good in that area. When I first came on, I said I wanted to work in marketing because our farmers are such good producers, but they're not so good at marketing. We got the PA Preferred Bill passed, but we have also been working on exporting dairy replacement heifers to other countries. In 2011, we exported 61,000 head of dairy replacement heifers. They did not all come from Pennsylvania. However, because of our proximity to the docks, and they have to be quarantined within a certain number of hours from the dock. So we're using that advantage to increase our exports. We have also been working on exports with Northeast Export Incorporated, which helps all of our processors and our farmers increase their exportation.
Couple wrap-up questions, and you've been very generous with your time. You are a municipal official now, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how you pull all that off. I was a former borough councilman and a county official, but now I'm just a state legislator. With regard to your intersection with government, we often think of a new law that needs to be passed. What regulations do you see as potential obstacles, and what can we be looking at legislatively? I know inheritance tax with regard to the farm. Are there some logical legislative steps that can be taken in terms of mandate relief and the kind of pressures that farmers are under? We've been, I think, progressive legislatively with allowing farmers to move equipment over a wider distance. May not be something that occurs to you directly, but you see the arena of mandate is something we need to make progress with legislatively or municipally?
I think that regulations is probably the number one issue on farmers' minds these days because, there's so many regulations that have to be, addressed when they do anything, expansion or anything that they do with their farm. And so I think that's a kind of a fine line that we have to walk. I know that a lot of the regulations are mandates down from the federal government. So I think that Pennsylvania is in pretty good shape, and I think that our legislators have been pretty common sense as far as regulations.
Thank you very much, Secretary. I've been pleased to visit with Secretary George Greig, Secretary of Agriculture for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. He's a public servant. He's my friend. We're delighted that you took time with us. Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you.